that there is such a thing as a living evil, a dark and shapeless thing that lives not in the spaces that we know, but between them, in the dark, in the night. Now listen carefully, because there isn't much time. Listen and believe, because it's all true.
Hello, and welcome back to day 23 of Popcornween. We're finally in the home stretch. Only a couple more of these left. And to be honest, I still have no idea what Popcornween means, or if I'm even saying it correctly. But do I got a treat for you. Tonight we're going to be talking about 1992's cult classic and final film in the Evil Dead trilogy. Even though they weren't allowed to call it Evil Dead. But we'll get into that later. That's right, we're talking about Army of Darkness.
In an age of darkness.
May God have mercy upon your souls. Something's wrong, something's amiss.
And a time of evil.
You shall die!
When the world needed a hero.
This one was all anyone to die!
What it got was him.
Groovy. You know your shoelace is untied.
He's a 20th century guy.
For that arrogance, I shall see you dead.
Trapped in the Middle Ages.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my boomstick!
Now, let's talk about how I get back home.
Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi team up once again to bring us Evil Dead in medieval times. Rather, that's what they wanted to do. Executives had other ideas.
Universal was like, we don't want to call it Evil Dead 3. They didn't want any reference to the other two movies. And we're like, why? Why wouldn't you want that? So they said, no, new name. So Army of Darkness. People didn't even know it was Evil Dead 3. And there were lots of people who liked Evil Dead 1 and 2. My big issue was just the name of the movie. I thought Army of Darkness is not even a bad name. I thought the tagline was good. Trapped in time, surrounded by evil, low on gas. They said, come on in, we're going to shoot a reference shot of your face with a smarmy expression. I'm like, for what? Oh, we'll show you. So then they put it on the Frank Frazetta type poster. I've signed that poster 100 million times now. I thought the poster was good. I thought the ad campaign was fine, but nobody knew that it was connected to the other movies. And I think that would have helped.
So even with a little studio interference, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell set out to make their medieval, not so Evil Dead sequel. And right off the bat, you could kind of tell this wasn't even going to be a dark comedy. This is going to be a straight up slapstick. I don't even know what.
So all the way through Army of Darkness, I was a little frustrated because I was a horror fan. And I wanted there to be more horror. And so I was always saying to Sam, hey man, where's the horror? And he would go, get this straight. Evil Dead was a horror movie. Evil Dead 2 is a comedy. This one's an adventure.
And Sam Raimi really did go full ham on this one. When you think of Ash, this is the guy you think of from this movie. A badass asshole throwing out one-liners.
See this? This is my boomstick!
Groovy. Give me some sugar, baby.
No more being portrayed as the guy in the wrong place at the wrong time, who has to do some horrible things to stay alive. Not in Army of Darkness. Ash is a selfish, arrogant narcissist whose bad decisions put his life and everyone else around him's lives in danger. In a world full of actual monsters, it's an absolute joy to watch him bumble his way through it. That's the main reason I'm not really doing a review. I'm doing this for the fans of Army of Darkness, not me. I'm assuming you don't need a recap. I'm just sort of telling you some of the stuff that happened behind the scenes and just why this movie was a lot of fun. I'm not going to get into the effects. They use the same team pretty much from the second movie. We'll kind of talk about some of the things I consider part of the charm of the movie. You know, you can say the effects don't hold up, but everything they did was on purpose, and that look was part of the fun of the movie. They weren't going for horror, so ultra realism wasn't really on their minds.
We decided to do all of the stop motion animation prior to the set shoot with Bruce, and that allowed us to shoot all of the skeleton characters and some of the other characters in the film.
As an actor, you see a camera looking at you, and you have a guy literally going 35, 36, 37. They're projecting an image onto a silver screen behind you, and you're fighting in that screen. Skeleton's over here, but you don't see it. It's projected on that screen. So 35, you have to like duck. 36, you have to turn. 37, you have to get to this mark. 38, you have to do this.
Because you've got an image on top of an image, which is shot, the actor and then the background footage, it's grainy. But mostly it turned out very good. And the whole thing, too, since they used that, gave it kind of a charm that I don't think you get today with green screen. You know, there's an obvious filmic look to it.
Now listen here, puppet. I want you to act very scared this scene. You get me?
Sam loves it when there's gags going on set, and he gets into it and has fun with it. And he's always making voices for the puppets. You know, hey, you know, we're operating. He's throwing dialogue in their mouths. You know, it's pretty funny.
You fellas, you're doing a good job. I better watch the rear flank back here. Yeah, that's it. You fellas, good luck to you.
We had 175 deadites every single night for like 4 or 5 months, and again 7 days a week, and then we'd have puppet gags, and you know we'd finish doing the makeups, get everybody suited up, and then we'd have to put all the puppets on, and then you're doing this, and you're trying to maintain.
Oh God, I'm tired.
As you can see, the movie just looked like a blast to work on. I think Sam Raimi just wanted to blow up like 1,000 skeletons and call it a movie. With that said, I do have a couple of gripes. Admittedly so by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. A lot of the humor in this is, you know, an homage to the Three Stooges. I'm not saying that's not funny. I mean, Three Stooges isn't really my cup of tea. I don't understand the whole universal love for him. But, you know, I know a lot of people do, and, you know, they are innovators, I know that. But if I gotta find issues with the movie, that some of those scenes do go on a little long. The biggest gripe I have is that we were robbed of an awesome fourth movie. Studio interference really screwed up what looked like an awesome movie.
It was the second time we had a movie recut by the studio. It was getting old. We were like, is this what happens? Does every studio movie get recut? And I think the answer is kind of yeah. You know, there are people who spend millions of dollars on a movie, and doggone it, they want it how they want it. So that was kind of a drag, having to deal with all that crap.
6 drops.
Well, Ash oversleeping and waking up, again, mistaking how many drops he took. This is a guy who can't remember 3 words, don't forget. Klaatu, Verada, whatever that word was.
In Sam's World of Economy, we had a shriveled, mummified body at the shop. We ended up putting a long gray beard on it, filming one version where Ash didn't make it. His body's dead in the back seat. And oh well. And we shot it, and then we shot the variation on that where he made it, but he went too far and he's got the beard.
He wakes up, the world's been destroyed. I slept too long! Cuts to black. We thought that's perfect, because the lead-in to the next movie is Ash leads a team of robots against the Deadites. He's Omega Man. It would be fantastic. The Army of Darkness 4 would be great. Like Ash leading an uprising of robots against Deadites. We thought that was way better, but because the audience thought it was a downer ending, because again now it's a studio movie, so you're going to do previews. So at the previews they were like, oh, it was sad, bad ending. So they wanted a positive ending.
How cool would that have been? So, just like the other movies, they had distribution problems, rating problems, studio interference, reshoots, delays, poor marketing, the fact that they didn't tie this movie in with the first two, so nobody knew it was actually a trilogy. So, long story short, they Disneyfied the movie and it bombed. Just like with all the other ones, it developed a following after the fact, and the videos and everything else did a lot better than the actual theater release. Which sucks, because that era died then, and I know there's been, remakes, and Ash vs. the Evil Dead was awesome, but it just would have been a little bit cooler if they did this like 20-some years ago. But there you go. A little behind the scenes and some of the whys to why this movie didn't do that well, even though it's a freaking classic. If you disagree or you think I missed something, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Until then, scare you later.